Hey, what's up, guys? I'm going to do a quick video on this preseason update. This goes live in November 8th, so be on the watch whenever that goes live. It's going to be after Worlds. They always tend to do this with their preseason. They don't want to be try to do too much when Worlds is going on. So, what this is, if you do not know, they are taking out the old runes and masteries, and they are replacing it with this new system, basically combining both into one, and then letting you change stuff on the fly. They're getting rid of a lot of the just, oh, you get damage or you get armor. There's always something that goes along with it now. So it makes it a little bit more, I don't know, beneficial to your playstyle and lets you kind of customize these before the game. So say you want a cookie cutter build and don't want to think about it. All right, well, there's one for that. Or say you do want to adapt it. Say you're doing something and you notice that their team has a lot of assassins or whatever. Well, change your runes up. That's all, that's all you have to worry about. So I'll kind of go over these. One of the first things you'll notice, there are now 5 trees instead of 3. They respectfully, and this is not necessarily hold true for every single case. Precision is more for marksmen and champions that want to use attack speed. So maybe Tryndamere, Master Yi might be in there also. Domination, seems like it's for junglers and assassins. Like it's really seems to lean that direction. Or just for heavy damage, lifesteal, stuff like that's kind of in there too. Sorcery, this is spellcasters for the most part. It's like so mages will probably take this one more often than not. And then we have Resolve, which is for tanks, top laners, stuff like that. And then Inspiration, this one really could be used by anybody, honestly. Supports will probably grab this one too. I could see supports grabbing probably any of these 3, honestly. Inspiration, I think anyone. There's some pretty cool things in here. So I'll kind of break down each of these individually, so you kind of know what's going on. Whoop. So you can kind of just read this. Precision, improved attacks and sustained damage. Domination, burst damage and target access. Sorcery, empowered abilities and resource manipulation. Resolve, durability and crowd control. Inspiration, creative tools and rule bending. Okay. You notice that each of these has 3 keystones. Hey, just like the mastery system we have now, but now there's 15 and coming soon. So 14 and coming soon. So instead of 9, now we have 15, so that's pretty awesome. So a lot of these are very similar to the ones we have currently. For example, Electrocute, this is basically the exact same thing as Thunderlords. Almost the exact same thing. It's when you do unique attacks, it does extra damage on them. Okay, so that's pretty standard. That's in here. This Phase Rush is similar to Storm Raider's Surge. This Fleet Footwork is similar to the one that's in, I can't think of it right now, the Ferocity Tree, where if you hit someone, you heal yourself and run faster. Grasp of the Undying's back. There's just a lot of these are already in the system. So whenever you pick a tree, you get to choose one main tree, and you get to choose a secondary tree as well. So your main one gives you one of these keystones. So say you pick Precision, you get to pick one of these 3. So say I pick Precision. Well, your options are press the attack, lethal tempo, fleet footwork. Press the attack gives you endlessly stacking attack damage if you're attacking the same target. That's pretty awesome. Really good against tanks. Lethal tempo. After you damage a champion, you get a big old chunk of attack speed temporarily, and it can actually let you exceed the attack speed limit. So if you're playing Kog'Maw or literally anybody else like Jinx or Caitlyn who has a ton of attack speed, this could be really strong because it's going to give you even more attack speed. Or Tristana, any of those guys. Fleet Footwork, this one's the one they already have currently. It works like like Static Shiv. It builds up stacks, and the next time you attack something, it heals you and gives you movement speed. So you pick a keystone. That's the first thing you do. Then it gives you 3 more tiers, and you get to pick one out of each of these tiers. Okay. So for Precision, you get Overheal, basically gives you shields, and if you have too much healing, it gives you a shield. Whenever you get kills, it gives you health and gold back. And if you're low on mana, you attack champions, it gives you focus, which then turns into mana. Like, there's lots of different options here. So this is really cool. What's nice about this is you see these 9 right here. So you have these 3 trees. whenever you pick a secondary one, so say I pick Domination, it's the same. So these 9 are the same as these 9, depending on which one you're picking. Okay, so you only get 2 slots though, so you don't get to pick like one of each of these. You only get to pick 2 tiers that you want to use. Okay, so this is really, really cool because there's obviously a lot more options. So it's not like the current mastery system where you just go down a tech tree and then you have to pick some of them. Well, some of them kind of suck. Like you don't want to you don't maybe not want some of the different masteries that are in that tree, but you have to get to the one you do want. This one lets you pick ones that you only really want. So if there's only one out of this entire thing that you like, you probably shouldn't be grabbing it. But it is really cool. There's lots of cool options. Like I said, every single one has 9 more of these. So you're looking at 12 different, on top of the keystone, you're looking at 12 different ones for each of the 5. You're looking at 60 different possible abilities that you have options from. So that's a lot. That's a lot of different abilities, a lot of different mastery or runes or whatever you want to call them now. So you have Precision, you have Domination. This seems like it's really geared towards assassins, junglers, stuff like that. You have Electrocute, which is basically the same thing as Thunderlords. You have this new thing called Predator, which gives your boots an active. It actually makes you go faster temporarily and makes your next ability do extra damage. It's pretty cool. Really strong on stuff like Hecarim, who already does extra damage if he's faster, so that'd be a pretty common thing for him. Dark Harvest, this is also geared probably towards assassins. If you kill champions, minions, or monsters, it gives you souls, and then whenever you attack something, you expend those souls and it does extra damage. So say you go through the jungle, you clear everything out, you get to the, say you're on Kayn or whatever, you clear out the whole jungle, and then you get 6 or 7, however many souls you have. Walk into lane, you just use all of them on one enemy, and just burst them down. So very good on assassins. You have Sorcery. This is really geared towards spellcasters, really any kind. Mages will probably take this stuff. You have this Summon Airy. I think that's how you pronounce it. It says your attacks and abilities send her to a target. So if you're healing an ally, it'll shield the ally or whatever. And if you're hurting an enemy, it'll keep hurting the enemy. You have Comet. This is similar to the Storm Raiders or Thunderlords, like the Electrocute one, very similar, but it's instead a skill shot. Like you don't throw it. Sorry, it's an area of effect. Whenever you hit somebody, it lobs this comet at them and an area of effect. So it's going to hit everyone around them, which is pretty strong. So if you have a slow or a movement impairing effect, this is pretty strong. Phase Rush. This is like the Storm Raider Surge. Whenever you hit someone with abilities, it gives you a burst of movement speed. Still very similar. And then they have all these other options. These usually have to do with cooldown or mana or extra damage or something along those lines. You have Resolve, which is, like it says, live forever. In this. Grasp the Undying, similar to the current one. Every 4 seconds, if you hurt a champion, it does extra damage, heals you, increases your health. Pretty standard stuff. Guardian, this is pretty good for tank supports. If you click on an ally champion, it gives you both a shield. Kind of like the active effect of the what's it called? Face of the Mountain. Similar to that. So, pretty neat. And Aftershock, if you immobilize someone, you gain defenses and then do a burst damage around you. So on Leona, who also already has an ability like that, this could be really strong because then you go in, stun them. This would start, do a burst damage around her, and then it does extra damage. It's just a good thing for tanks that have stuns. And then they have, obviously, the options in here, which have to do with resistances or gaining life or tenacity, stuff along those lines. And then Inspiration, this one's really cool. The first one's Glacial Augment. So your first attack against a champion slows them, depending on your cooldown. And then the reason you take this is if you have active items. So if you're playing Jax, for example, and you have the Hextech Gunblade, which if you target them, it slows them down or something like that. Or if you have Bork or something along those lines, this can be really strong. It'll shoot a freeze ray at them also, and it creates a slow zone. So if you're trying to escape, hitting it once is useful, or you're trying to catch them, hitting it once is useful, but then it's going to linger afterwards also, so that's pretty good. Very specific, though, for who you're playing. This obviously isn't going to be good on everybody. Summoner Special, this is probably the most unique one out of all of them. This one's really cool. You get Summoner Shards over time, and you exchange them at the shop, and you can change your Summoner spell. You can literally change your summoner spell in the middle of the game. Okay, so it's not like you get a free one. So I'm pretty sure if it's off cooldown, you don't get one that's on, whatever. You get replace it. You still have to wait the amount of time to be able to use it according to what your previous one was. All right. So this can be really helpful. Say if you are, say your whole team takes this, you're all playing normally, and then you're like, hey, let's go kill Baron or something, and then you all switch to Smite and run over there and just burst it down. Like that'd be kind of funny. Very useful for people who maybe want to start with Ignite. They use it in the laning phase. Laning phase is over, then they're like, all right, I'll switch to Teleport now. Kind of gives me some more options. Can be very useful, but obviously if you take this, you lose out on a lot of these other really cool keystones. So it's it's a gamble, but this is really cool. The one that says coming soon, I already know what it does. It's called like Kleptomaniac or something, and it's whenever you attack people, you have a chance to gain a consumable, and the consumable can be like a health potion, mana potion, wards, the Oracle's elixir, stuff like that. It can be that, so that can be good on supports too. But I highly recommend checking this out. There's a lot of really cool options that you have in here. If I was playing Anivia, I'll take Comet, and then I have other options here. This one says it gives me mana back whenever every once in a while, so that sounds good because I've run out of mana a shitload of times. This one says give me 10% cooldown after level 10. I get 10% cooldown, just free stats. All right, that sounds great. And then I remember this one gives me extra damage over the course of the game. It's like a free Rod of Ages, so hell yeah, I'll take that. And then, I don't know, let's grab Domination for my next one, I guess. Let's see what we got. We have a bunch of options here. I don't know. What's this one? Ghost Poro. When you enter a bush, a Poro appears. It will stay behind and give you vision. Fuck yeah, that sounds awesome. I don't want to get ganked, so cool. Then I get to pick one more out of these 6. What do we got? What's this one? Recover health when you deal damage. Nah. Takedowns increase. I don't use active items. Out of combat movement speed. That could be useful on Anivia. I don't know. Cheap shot, deal bonus true damage to enemies with... Oh, fuck yeah, I still have all the time. That sounds great. Look at that, I just made a page. That took no time at all. Like, 0 effort, and I was just picking shit, and this will probably be useful. So, it's really cool. Check it out. Find some cool ones that you like. I think it's a really cool system. So, there's that. Go experiment if you want to. It's pretty neat. There's lots of fun options for literally any champion. It's hard to go wrong, so... Go nuts.